Welcome to Mission Stories for Kids with Uncle Gordon, where you will hear first-hand accounts of answers to prayer and miracles from God. Oh, by the way, I think adults will like this too.
Hi boys and girls, lovely to be able to talk with you again today and share a little story with you. If you listen carefully, can you hear something going on there in the background? Can you hear the pages turning of this book that I have in front of me? Well, that book that I have in front of me is a very precious book to me. It's an old Bible that I've had for many, many years. And why I hang on to it and why I keep using it is because of what happened to that Bible. As I look through the pages, I can see it's got a very wide margin all around it, and I can see on the edge of the wide margin watermarks. And as I look and leaf through the Bible, at the back page I can see all these stains of water on the back pages where there's nothing written. And there are some places in the margin where I've made little notes where the notes have run a little bit as the ink has got wet. You see, that Bible went to the bottom of the ocean one time, but the Bible is still intact. It's still good, and I still love using it. You see, it happened this way. I was visiting with a friend of mine around a number of our clinics and a number of our schools on the island of Maleta. And we were travelling by canoe. And each time we'd come into a little place, because we had ocean that we're in, sometimes there were some rolling waves, and we had to be very careful as we approached the entrance into some of these little places. And this particular school that we were heading in towards, we had to get for a few moments broadside. That means we were running not with the waves, but opposite where the waves were. So we were sideways to the waves, which if a wave happens to hit you like that, it's easy for the canoe to be turned over. Well, we were just a few minutes too long going against the waves, the way we shouldn't have been, and a big wave came up and it hit the side of the canoe and turned the canoe right over, upside down. Now, I had a briefcase with my books and some papers and some materials in it, and my Bible inside that briefcase. And of course, that had been sitting near my feet, and of course when the canoe turned right over and upside down, I went out into the water, but so did my bag with my clothes and my briefcase with all my books and papers and my Bible in it. I wasn't so much worried about the clothes, but I was worried about my Bible. But the water wasn't really deep right there. We were almost to the shore, but it was still deeper than what I could stand up and breathe. My head was under the water, and so I dived down very, very quickly and grabbed my briefcase and lifted above my head as high as I could so it was out of the water, and then came up and took a big breath and then walked across the base of the ocean as far as I could, then came up, got another breath, and then kept walking till I was out and I could breathe and I could get onto the shore. I then opened my briefcase, tipped it upside down and poured all the water out of it that was inside it. Then I took out all the books and all the papers. Some of the papers were wrecked, but I pulled out the Bible because that was the one that was most important to me at all. And somehow the Bible had been kept so tightly closed that none of the water could get into it at all. It had been kept pushed so tight that only the edge of the Bible and only the inside of the pages have a few watermarks, but not many. Yes, on the inside of the covers there's some watermarks, but elsewhere the Bible has been preserved. God had kept it shut really tight so that I could use it on that trip still, and I could have it forever as a sign of God's blessing and God's care and protection. You know, it's nice sometimes, boys and girls, to keep little items like that. Or if God has intervened, if you've had a little prayer answered, to never forget that prayer. If God has done something special for you, to keep remembering and telling that story to your brothers and your sister, to mum and dad. And then when you grow up and to your own children, keep telling those stories. Because those stories or those symbols like my Bible keep reminding you that God loves you, that God cares about you, and He wants to be a part of your life every day. You have a happy day, boys and girls, and I look forward to talking with you next time. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Mission Stories for Kids with Uncle Gordon, a production of 3ABN Australia Radio.